Okay, what's the worst thing that can happen? Someone waits a little longer for the noodles? I have like it's like when you play a low tier in a video game, you have the excuse that you're playing a low tier. So I have no experience, so I have the excuse that I have no experience. Hey guys, my name is Alan Gao and I'm like kind of the owner and I guess operator, but most importantly noodle maker when it comes to Kasey Ramen. And I started this around 2 years ago in order to serve like the Edmonton community. I think Edmonton is really dope for ramen because there hasn't been an influx of these Japanese chain restaurants that have come here yet. It's all independently owned and operated shops, and like there's a lot of really good local shops here that are making ramen, and they're like pushing the envelope in terms of Edmonton. And I just kind of want to come in here and I want to just do my best to kind of elevate the ramen culture. Like some shops like Tokiwa that I look up to, Nomiya and Kazoku in the west side, like those shops are really doing it good. Nudaru as well, like sorry if I missed you, but like these shops are all kind of what like shaped the fabric of like what I enjoy in ramen and what I want to see and build in the city as well. So this is maze soba, and to start off with the noodles, I did a thick noodle and also a thin noodle. With the thick noodle, we tomomied it to make it curly. And yeah, that kind of like sets the base of what the dish is. And then this is the soburo, which just like, I don't know, it's the perfect kind of topping to have when you have a dry noodle. It's like just really easy to pick up with the chopstick and everything kind of melts together. Binding agent, we use this onsen egg. It's just sous vide at 63 degrees for 40 minutes. Everything else, in my opinion, is like supporting cast when it comes to the garlic chives. That adds a lot of like kind of like a nice bitterness. Garlic, which is, you know, garlic. Green onions, like the quintessential kind of ramen topping that just brightens up a dish, as well as another kind of like, in my opinion, what a supporting character is just like the lapchaung, which is just kind of something nostalgic that I really enjoy. And then we have the menma right there to kind of balance everything with a little sour and a little sweet. And of course, like everyone's favorite topping, the chashu, which we braised for around 2 hours and then cut up fresh like yesterday before service. And yeah, it was just yeah, this is the bowl. It's like my take on the maze soba. So we're currently at Kimfat Market, and this is where I go every Wednesday for basically pork products, chicken products, and like mainly for their bones as well as their pork belly. The reason why I really like Kimfat is because they're kind of the only butcher shop that I know of that does like a whole pig, and they keep and sell every single part of it. So like when I was like shopping around and trying to figure out like where I can get bones, I was kind of going to a few other butcher shops, and like they would have some of the pork bones, but they wouldn't have like the specific stuff that I wanted, like, you know, like a pig's head, for example, or like a pig's skull, because the mixture of like head, pork, back, and pork marrow kind of creates like a different flavor complex, rather than just like trying to ask a butcher like, hey, could you just get me like some pork bones? And then it's really good because they have everything on hand. It's a small family-run business as well, and they just have like amazing like customer service when it comes to getting exactly what I want, and specifically for ramen. And like even though it's like a small business, like they price everything extremely fairly, as well as like I know that Dorinku and I know that like Tokiwa also uses them, so like they're kind of like the major supplier for like all, you know, soup bones and stuff like that. So yeah, I really like them.
What's the relationship you have?
Like, I think it's pretty transactional for now, but I like them a lot. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of like a parasocial relationship where I like them a lot, and I don't know if they like me, but I hope they do. And I'm gonna keep buying food from them. I'm trying to download the art asset that Ivy gave me for like a link in bio. Yeah, because it's like 17 minutes until I have to post on Instagram that tickets are live. So yeah, and it's always kind of nerve-wracking at the very end.
So why ramen?
So I've always been cooking, like for a long time, and I've always been cooking for my friends. And there was like this one time, like 3 or 4 years ago, where I tried to make ramen off of like a really bad like YouTube recipe, and then turns out like when I had it, I thought it was really good, and then I served it to another group of friends, and they're like, "This is like not ramen," and so I just like kind of gave up on the whole thing until I like rediscovered it through another like really good YouTube video in like 2020. So I feel like ramen is like sort of like a food with like infinite like skill ceiling. So there's always room to improve and like always to get better. And there's like no rules when it comes to like this is how you make ramen. It's like the entire ramen is like a huge category is kind of like infinite. So it feels like there's like a million possibilities.
What's the choice for the high hydration noodles?
It's because, from my experience, like lower hydration noodles are like snappier, and when you're eating something that's dry like maze soba, it's better to have like a chewier noodle. Because I feel like if you bite into something that doesn't have any soup, it's kind of like you kind of don't want to be like chewing and like gnawing. So like I went with a higher hydration and like a thicker noodle because it just gives it more chew instead of snap.
Your baby?
Yeah, like literally took 5 months to get from China, and through like this super sketchy like shipping company here, and then I had to pick it up from like a massage parlor. So like there's definitely a huge journey into just getting this thing here. So you're just like trying to find it online, and also like none of the pictures matching up. I don't know. It was like a miracle that this happened, and then like turns out it's like you can find it on AliExpress and it comes in a week. So you know. So the difference between this has just been pressed, and this was resting in the bag for 10 minutes. And you can see like on the outside it's a lot drier than this, because like once it rests for even a little bit, it'll just like rehydrate. It's really, really cool. So now I'm putting this back into the bag. So we still need to go a little more. Right now I'm like working with the thicker noodles and like hand massaging them to kind of give them really nice curls when they boil. Like after this will boil, it becomes like a super curly like and picks up a lot of the sauce. So it's like really, really good with the soburo and really good with the tare. And yeah, it's just like, yeah, it's gonna be awesome. But to contrast that, I kind of wanted to make like I'm using the thinner, like, you know, I can't have like super duper straight noodles with like this hydration, but like a relatively straighter noodle that I'm not tamami, like which just mean hand massage. So I'm not gonna tamami those noodles, I'm gonna tamami these noodles, and then I'm gonna mix them. And so once once they get nice and mixed together, like you'll be able to kind of tell like these are the curly thick ones and these are the thinner straight ones. And then together I think it'll give like a really interesting like texture when you pick it up with the chopstick. So there's actually a lot of different ways that noodles can be stored. A lot of the noodles that are purchased have like a really good like stable shelf life. But for these noodles, I think like for me personally, I like to do I recently learned this from like a friend, but I do like a 2-day room temperature rest, and then I do a like 3 or 4 day like fridge rest. So like the 2-day room temperature rest actually changes quite a bit about how the noodle like tastes. And like I don't know what it is, and like I couldn't tell you why, but it's just like there's some magic that happens, something like enzymes, something like flour acting with water, and like the noodles come out like this really interesting like translucent, as well as like they come out like really tender versus like a fresh noodle. And like maybe we'll do this like on the day that we boil, but like I'll show you what a fresh noodle looks like and tastes like, and I'll show you what an aged noodle tastes like. But like aging noodles is like such a huge difference. It's almost like a different product. I don't know what happens, and like currently online in like the ramen world, there's like a bunch of discussions about like how long people should age the noodles or how long people like to age their own noodles. But yeah, I just learned about like the 2-day room temperature rest from like a friend in Vancouver. So every Thursday I come to our cafe, I order like a sandwich and a drink, and then we work out of the kitchen that is attached inside this building, attached to the daycare. So we make all of our toppings, all of the soup, basically everything except for the noodles. We make at our cafe, and then we just store it and refrigerate it here, come back, pick it up, and then we just assemble our kits. But this week I'm gonna be assembling everything and just like storing it here. So we're gonna be making pork belly, we're gonna be making soburo, we're gonna be making menma, aroma oil. We're gonna help Shannon prep some of the wonton stuff. And we're also going to be, just making the tare for future. Just like lucky to have this space available, and it's like such a good kitchen, and the people here are like just like the people at ARC are just so good to me. So yeah, I really appreciate them. So this is chashu, and we've been braising this chashu tare for like a few weeks now. Like it's the same sauce thing, and we reused it. Like we take it, and then after it finishes boiling, we allow like the meat to soak it up. So every single time I like add more stuff that goes into the chashu tare, and so yeah, we're like continuously adding to like an older one. And so like this, I guess, has been going for like a few months, because like every couple months we like change it completely. But this has just been going for a few months, and we like refrigerate it after and cool it down before storing it and then using it again next time. And like they're just gonna chill here. So after it comes up to a boil, we're gonna go for around like 2 hours, check the doneness, and then take it out. Okay. Yeah, so this is just like basically reaching the kind of halfway point for the aroma oil, where once it's finished, it kind of it just like it's supposed to kind of be like crispy little bits, and we'll get to a point where it turns that way, but we don't want it to burn, because although the burnt texture could be used in like some different applications, including like to have like kind of a burnt topping, or to just like make black garlic oil, like for the purposes of this ramen, we kind of want to keep the aroma oil super light. That's why we added like ginger chunks. Let me get one. We added like ginger chunks to kind of brighten everything up. And it's really light because it's only canola oil, and typically I add some like chicken fat to the finished product as well. But this time we kind of just wanted to only go canola oil because we want like a super light dish. In the wontons that we're doing tomorrow, we have to dice up Napa cabbage as well as like shrimp, and just to like save time tomorrow for when Shannon and I are like are going to be like folding the wontons. Like I just want to like help her prep all the veg, so then it's like a pretty easy thing. So I don't know. Typically she just like likes it really kind of like diced up really nicely. So kind of just trying to like emulate what I remember her doing. And it's like surprisingly like a little amount of Napa and like other vegetables. It's just like mostly all meat. And like, I don't know, it's like extremely simple, but it's like probably the best tasting wonton that I've ever had. In ramen, there are 5 components. So the soup, noodles, toppings, aroma oil, and the last one is tare. So for most ramen out there, it is like all of the seasoning, all of the salt that goes into the ramen is like from the tare. So it's typically a 1-to-10 ratio, but it's like a 1-to-10 ratio of like tare to like soup, and that will kind of give you like all of the seasoning. So when you make tare, it's supposed to be extremely salty, extremely concentrated, and that's what kind of gives like the like punch of umami and that like craveability that you get from ramen. And like this recipe is like a combination of like some stuff that I like, as well as like Ramen Lord's ebook, as well as like Way of Ramen and his video with Keizo, and as well as just like my own taste and like my own explanation. So combining like a few soy sauces that I think are pretty good into one, and then trying to make it like as affordable as possible. But yeah, this is just like the first step where I'm trying to like bring out the umami compounds from the shiitake and the kombu that's been soaking for a day. It's gonna change. Currently at District Cafe, and about like, wish I had a watch, 30 minutes or so, we're gonna be seeing our first seating. And I have all my friends here, and we're gonna be running the first ever Kasey Ramen pop-up in Edmonton, Alberta. District Cafe has like kindly offered up their space, and like every single day, like I'm talking to my parents like, hey, like how can I repay these guys? How can I repay these guys? And like, I really want to just shout out District. Like they've been nothing but kind to me, nothing but like so supportive of my journey, starting off from customers and then supporters, and now like I guess mentors in a sense. They've really been, I guess, the backbone of this entire operation. Like without them, I'm not able to make noodles.
My name's Nate Box, and I'm the founder and CEO of Black Box Hospitality Group here in Edmonton. And this is District Cafe, which is kind of our flagship downtown spot. Primarily like a busy daytime coffee and sandwich shop. And I think we've been here maybe 7 or 8 years now already. So we've got to see the city change quite a bit. I would say that District opened at a time when there wasn't much in the city for great food and coffee, and we've seen amazing things come through town, and I think Alan's a big part of that, and it's recognizing like this creativity and this passionate drive is something that after, I don't know how many, we've probably hired 400 or 500 people in the last 10 or 12 years. Alan's kind of in a creative zone, and so his passion for ramen is like incredible, and it's palpable and pretty inspiring. So we have this space that largely sits empty in the evenings, and Alan and I kind of started chatting a bit about what to do, and if he ever wanted to do a pop-up, and he said he would love to. I got to know Alan from through my wife actually. Randomly, my wife came across Kasey Ramen on Instagram and ordered it. And then we got to talking after the first pickup, and she said that he needed production space. And we've got like 3,000 square feet here, of which is like a massive bakery as a part of that.
I'm Shannon. I've been working with Alan on Kasey Ramen since the pretty early days, and helping out with test bowls, and then transitioning to kits, and now to the first pop-up. So for today, I helped out with making the wontons. So we did them 2 days ago, and I just sat down after work one day and then did all 300 or 400 of them in one sitting, because I just wanted to, I love folding, so I just wanted to get those done and out of the way. And I also made the dessert for tonight, which is a matcha white chocolate cookie. We were supposed to do them yesterday, but then we must have messed up the recipe because they all melted in the oven. So we came in early today and started from scratch. And so yeah, I'm excited for people to try those too.
More garlic, a little more aroma oil. Maybe a full spoon instead of a...
Like this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The more aroma oil. The salt level is perfect. I really like the toddy that I made in this.
The restaurant industry, if you need something healthy like cafe or cafe,
a little more garlic. A little more garlic. Yeah. I honestly right now in this moment, first of all, third ever dinner service to ever happen. Second of all, surrounded by my best friends. And then first of all, we have people coming in 15, 20 minutes. But I'm not even nervous at all, because I feel like we have things under control, but I'm just super jittery. Oh, I'm super jittery right now. Dude, every other pop-up that I went to in Vancouver, it was they weren't all arriving at 5. People just came on time. Now instead of just clumping it down, I kind of made the adjustment of doing this once. And I think I can get a level playing field for the onsen egg. That's something I wasn't doing before. Everyone likes it, and I know they're being nice, but I genuinely think it's going pretty well.
I think tonight went pretty good. I mean, things could have gone better, of course, but it's a learning experience tonight. We're kind of it's like the trial run, and then tomorrow's just going to be even better.
My name's Eugene. The food was wonderful, amazing. I've seen the kits a lot before on Instagram, so I was excited to come in and actually try it. I love the flavors, I love the different combinations of the vegetables, meats. So great experience, loved it, and I hope there's more in the future.
The concept of Best Friends Forever kind of came when I felt as if serving ramen kits for people, it felt really kind of disconnected because I wasn't able to see them eat, and I would kind of see the same people over and over again ordering kits. and it felt really good to like see them. And then Shannon would always like joke about it, say, oh, these are your besties, these are your besties. And then I wanted to kind of host my first pop-up as a dedication to the people that kind of have been ordering kits for a long time, and for the people that have like supported me, including like all the staff and all of the people that took time out of their day to just come through and just like crank out these bowls with me and help serve and provide a really good experience for others. So I kind of wanted to dedicate this event to them, as well as to the customers that kind of like have been on this journey with me for, I guess, like the past almost 2 years, one and a half. Yeah.